this is Susan Bradley for CSO Online. Well, here we are again. We're still not out of the woods in terms of both the COVID-19 virus as well as the scams surrounding COVID-19. While we've been working from home and following our various shelter-in-place guidelines, the attackers have been using this time to target their attacks to go after us. The biggest threats have to do with phishing attacks related to COVID-19. In addition, attackers are setting up domain names specifically designed to entice us to click on their links. Recently, Anomaly has released a bundle of information regarding COVID-19 related attacks. At the time of the release, they indicated that at least 15 distinct campaigns associated with 11 threat actors distributing 39 different malware families and employing 80 different attack techniques were in active use. In this white paper, they indicate that type and style of attacks have changed over time. For example, in January, the attacks were malicious emails that appeared to be notifications from welfare providers and public health sectors. In February, the attack shifted to include remote access Trojans, or rats, in their payload. In March, Check Point reported an increase of fraudulent domains relating to the COVID-19 themes. In mid-March, researchers noted that attackers turned to mimicking a very well-known coronavirus map put forth by the Johns Hopkins University in their methodologies to attack our networks. Microsoft recently noted on their blog that they noticed several trends were happening in the networks that they were monitoring. For example, they noticed that in every country was seeing at least one themed COVID-19 attack. They noted that China, United States, and Russia were most targeted and most hit. TrickBot and Emotet malware were rebundling and rebranding themselves to take advantage of the threats and were reusing various lures. They noted in one targeted message that tracked roughly 60,000 emails included COVID-19 related malicious attachments or malicious URLs. They noted that attackers were impersonating official organizations, such as the WHO and other health. They noted that SmartScreen tracked over 18,000 malicious COVID-19 themed URLs and IP addresses. They stated that Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection prevented a big phishing attack that was intended to use a fictitious Office 365 sign-in page in order to harvest credentials. And finally, and unfortunately, they noted that attackers were targeting healthcare organizations during this time. Microsoft even made the decision to open up AccountGuard threat notification service available at no cost for healthcare providers, human rights organizations, and humanitarian organizations. If you work or consult for any of these types of organizations, please reach out to Microsoft for their free offering. And PhishLab reported that cybercriminals are using COVID-19 related voicemail notifications in order to trick people to log in and steal credentials. You want to urge your employees to review any unusual voice email file and handle anything suspicious accordingly. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre also noted these same styles of attacks: phishing, malware distribution, registration of new domain names, and attacks against newly and often rapidly deployed remote access or remote working infrastructure. So with all of these attackers trying to get us, what can you do to prevent them from getting us? Well, there's plenty we can do. Remember to make sure that any endpoint, including those in home users, have some sort of protection. Now, if you have a Windows 10 E5 license or Microsoft 365 Enterprise license, you want to make sure that you roll out Microsoft Defender ATP. I highly recommend it. Because of the impact of the pandemic to technology, Microsoft made the decision to push off the basic authentication mandate that they were planning to do earlier this year. They're still going to continue to disable basic authentication for any newly created tenants by default, but they're not going to force you to disable basic authentication at this time. Now, that said, I highly recommend that you plan and do it. Attackers go after basic authentication because it's a low-hanging fruit. It's easy to get to. So you want to make sure that you take the time, even with everything else on your plates, to do this now. You want to block legacy authentication. You want to especially impact phones, remote devices. Basically, if you were planning to do it before, don't change your timeline. Do it. And next, have some sort of filtering service between you and the outside world. Email is a huge risk right now. It's how attackers are mostly coming into most of our organizations. So you want to make sure that you have Office 365 ATP or some other filtering service between you and the outside world. And last but certainly not least, information and guidance is so helpful. Recently, a coalition of security researchers got together and put forth the COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition. They have a Slack channel you can join where they talk about email threats, malicious domains, and give a weekly recap of any threats that are out there. With these resources, you can be aware of the issues and the risks and the attacker styles that are coming after you. And finally, the group has provided a list of attacking domains that you can put in your firewall rules to block them. As you can see, it's a massive list of attack domains out there. So keep aware of these and add them to your arsenal. And remember to check out the resources on the IDG Tech Talk channel out on YouTube. From all of us at CIOSA Online, stay safe, stay aware, and above all else, keep you and your network secure. Until next time, this is Susan Bradley.